Hi, I'm Wyatt Cash, Vice President of Content Strategy at FedScoop, and we're here today at the ACT-IAC Executive Leadership Conference in Williamsburg. And today I'm with Jonathan Alboum, CIO at the U.S. Department of Agriculture. And Jonathan, I know you've only been on the job 2 or 3 months, so I'm sure you're still trying to get your arms around everything, but just wanted to kind of get your sense for a couple of things. One is part of the themes here at the conference have to do with emerging technologies, innovation, security. Tell us a little about what you're seeing going on, for example, with emerging technologies, maybe data analytics, and how that's helping the agency.
Sure, thank you. So you're right. I've been in the CIO job at USDA for a couple of months, going on 4, but you know, the challenges that USDA has, even though it is a large, diverse agency with so many different kinds of missions, are very similar to what other agencies encounter. We have a lot of data. We have to be able to take that data, turn that data into information, and be able to take some kind of action around it. So one of the places where we've been doing this, and we continue to focus, is around fraud detection in the SNAP program, formerly known as food stamps. There are millions of transactions every day, and in order to understand where fraud might occur, you have to be able to look at all those transactions, look for patterns, and be able to turn that into information that allows somebody to take some real action against that. So we've been doing this for a while. We continue to mature the technologies in those systems. You also asked about mapping. USDA uses quite a variety of mapping tools. You know, we support people that work the land, whether they're farmers or they're foresters, and we need to be able to take a look at the space where they work, and we need to be able to help them make plans for crop planting. We need to know what farmers planted. We use a lot of sophisticated mapping technologies for this. Some of our big challenges are sometimes in the different missions we have very similar requirements, and we want to be very smart about how we use these technologies and be able to share what we learn from one mission to another, because there's normally some kind of overlapping set of requirements, and if we're able to think about these things in a way that we can strip off some of our uniqueness and look at where we have a lot of commonality, I think it's very good for the department and for our employees and customers.
Yeah. Well, I know budgets are always an issue. How are you funding some of these new technology initiatives, and how are you kind of looking at the next couple of years in terms of budgets?
Yeah. So USDA has a $2.8 billion IT budget, and we don't expect that budget to go up by a lot or to go down by a lot over the coming years. But really, as new technologies avail themselves to support our programs, we have to think very much in terms of prioritization. We'll have a little new money here or there, but not large swaths of it to do new big things. So as we encounter something that we want to do, we have to be really thoughtful about how that fits in with our current investments, and to the extent that we need to spin up something new and big, there's probably something else that we're going to have to take offline or bring down a little bit. So we have learned to do this through governance, and we have a enterprise IT board that's chaired by our deputy secretary. It involves all of our undersecretaries, and in this group is able to come together now and make decisions, and they review our major investments. We bring to this board very senior USDA officials information about our key IT projects and new initiatives, so we can create some mind share around what we're going to be doing, and there's a real awareness about technologies we may be using in one environment that may have applicability elsewhere. And then through that same kind of process, we can make important decisions about what's most important, and once we understand that, then we're able to fund something new if that's the right answer for us.
Yeah, so one of the themes at this conference has to do with FITARA and its impact. Tell us, how are you feeling that at an organization as large as USDA?
Right, so I think FITARA is going to be very good for USDA over time. There's a big change management challenge as we rework how some of our policies and processes work around IT procurement and governance and management of IT resources. But again, that executive IT board is going to play an important role. We have the foundation of strong governance in place, so our FTAR implementation will be helped by that. It's not going to make it easy per se, but I think it could be easier than if we didn't have a governance framework already. And how I think it helps innovation is we have a lot of opportunity now for agencies to come together early in the process, because we'll be getting information about IT acquisitions much earlier in the process. In the USDA CIO's office, we have already an approval process for acquisitions, but we're at the end. Now we're going to be involved in the beginning of this investment process, and where we have 17 offices and 17 agencies within USDA with very diverse missions. They do have a lot of unique needs at times, and we can help make those connections between agencies now, because we'll see things early, and we'll know that if the Forest Service is doing something innovative with a GIS mapping technology, we may be able to apply that at the Farm Services Agency that also does a lot of mapping, and maybe connect those two organizations, and maybe they could share a solution that they would not have shared in the past. And I think FTAR is going to help us with that, because we'll be seeing this information sooner in the process than we might today.
So let me wrap up on the subject of security, and particularly the 30-day sprint that we had, the issues of PIV cards and how well they were used. What did you learn from that 30-day sprint, and what are you doing next?
Sure. Well, it took us a little bit longer than the 30 days, but by the end of fiscal year 2015, USDA was able to get over 85% of our employees PIV card enabled. So we've been working on this for quite some time, and I think the difference really was the fact that the Secretary of Agriculture and the Deputy Secretary really helped us prioritize this. They championed the effort to have our employees use PIV cards to access the network. And when the top leaders of an organization get behind an initiative like security, everybody recognizes how important it is. And we want to apply those same that same tactic to other security-related initiatives. We're very fortunate that we have USDA leadership that is aware and focused on these things. It makes our job easier. We don't have to fight the battle every time we need to do something security-related. It's not, people naturally at USDA want to be mission-focused, and in the CIO's office we want to be mission-focused too. But we have this very large set of security requirements that we cannot ignore, and we're generally the ones talking about security, and other people are talking about mission impacts and whatnot. Well, at USDA now we have people's mind share around the fact that if you want the programs to work really well, the data has to be secure.
Yes.
If you want the programs to work well, your systems have to be secure. We face big risks across government related to the security of our systems. People understand that now, and we have the Secretary and the Deputy Secretary helping us to keep that in the front of people's minds. So our path towards a more secure USDA is really tied in having strong leadership that recognizes the need to be aggressive on some of these things, and to continue to champion that alongside with us.
Well, Jonathan, thank you very much for being with us today. I'm Wyatt Cash with FedScoop. You can read more of our coverage and see some of our other interviews at fedscoop.com. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.